Hello and welcome to Top Dog TV's Short Sports Shorts Anecdote Series. This episode is the Pele Pact. Following the Second World War, athlete endorsements were a new way of selling a training shoe. Initially they were seen as a big risk, but they gradually became an established marketing tool. In fact, England World Cup winning midfielder Alan Ball's trademark white boots came about because of an endorsement deal. In those days, football boots were black, with the only variation being the manufacturer's logo. In 1959, Hummel were looking to break into the British boot market and were offering £2,000 to the first top player willing to wear their white boots. With that being a lot of money in those days, Ball took the deal. However, he admitted many years later that he never liked the Hummel boots, and so one of the apprentices would paint an Adidas pair white for him. Incidentally, that kind of thing still goes on. Manchester City captain Vincent Kompany, who is signed up to endorse New Balance, recently tried wearing blacked out boots from Adidas in an attempt to cure persistent injury problems. By the 1960s, athlete endorsements had become vital to the sales, and the big two shoe manufacturers of the time, Addidas and Puma, became involved in a battle for supremacy known as the Sneaker Wars. The companies were owned by the Dassler brothers, who were involved in an extremely nasty personal feud which had completely split their family. Dirty tricks were commonplace during the sneaker wars, such as Adidas bribing customs officials to confiscate Puma shoes from athletes during the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City. Athletes had become wise to what was happening and were playing the two companies off against each other to the point where the deals were becoming damaging. Realising things could not continue as they were, in the lead up to the 1970 World Cup, Puma and Adidas agreed a peace treaty which had one key feature: the Pele Pact. That pact was an agreement between the two companies not to attempt to sign a deal with Pele, the most famous sports star in the world at the time. Both sides agreed a bidding war would be ruinously expensive to whichever company won. Pele himself knew nothing about the Pele Pact at the time, and so he was mystified when a Puma rep joined the Brazil squad and made no attempt to offer him a boot deal, despite attempting to recruit every other player in the squad. At the time, Pele was wearing the boots of a small English shoe company called Stelo. The Puma rep was a former reporter called Hans Henningsen, who had grown very friendly with the Brazil squad. Eventually, Pele made it clear that he was unhappy with the situation, and Henningsen took it upon himself to set up a deal with the superstar without the approval of Puma. The pair agreed that Pele would be paid $25,000 for the World Cup and $100,000 for the next 4 years, plus a cut of the sales of Pele-branded shoes. Henningsen immediately took the deal to the head of Puma, Armin Dassler, who realised the deal was too good to turn down. Dassler and Henningsen returned to Pele with the money and a contract with an extra stipulation in it. This was to be activated if Brazil, as expected, reached the final of the World Cup. And so the team set up ready to kick off the World Cup final, Brazil vs Italy, when, just as the game is about to start, Pele asks the referee for a moment to do his laces up. Pele kneels down and spends the next minute retying his shoelaces while the camera pans in close to show the Puma logo on his shoes. The sneaker wars were relaunched in earnest.